Jaron. There's a few things we found out about Jaron Ennis in this next fight. First of all, I knew Karen Chuckajohn was going to be a problem because, bro, after all that movement he displayed in the last fight that they had, I knew for a fact if any of them big shots landed, it would be trouble. He just didn't commit to punching. That just wasn't his MO that last fight. Don't know why. Probably had a lot of respect for Jaron's power. Didn't want to get caught while he was sitting down setting traps. I feel you. But at the end of the day, bro, you know, it's a boxing match, bro. You got to lock in. So, hey. But tonight, they fought again. And let me just say, how are y'all doing? I hope everybody's having a good day. It's Saturday, so you know we just on some chill shit, watch fights, kick it with the homies on Discord. Now I'm on fight night. Finna upload another video because there's some more fades going on, bro. I'm not one of them guys that just gets on YouTube to just create and craft and start rumors and waste time. You know what I mean? I'm on here trying to really lock in. If we're gonna be on here locked in, we're gonna lock in for real. So hey, but Karen Chuckajohn, Jaron Ennis, they fought again tonight. And my thing was, we all know Jaron and everybody, this is always been his biggest criticism, is that he takes a lot of punishment. He eats a lot of dumb shots. He gets punched on angles because he's naturally talented, but his IQ, right? He's lacking in the IQ department, right? He's having issues when it comes to the IQ. When it comes to what he gets punched with. If you look at most of his fades, bro, he's been fighting people that they have to sit down to get their punches off as well. They can't punch on the move, right? And Boogie Ennis has taught him, and if you look at how he trains to sit down on his punches and exchange in the pocket and throw a more overpowering punch. You dig what I'm saying? So because that's the case, he put himself in a position of, hey, when I fight a mover, he fought a mover. He was able to move and cut off the ring. You dig what I'm saying? But the problem was he couldn't get any real punches to land. So he had to sacrifice some of that power and accuracy for the movement to cut it off, because he just hit the way his punch style is. He could not do both. But he was getting clipped with some big shots. It showed me that if he does fight somebody with a high fight IQ who can not only manage the distance but move and punch on the move and counter, because they know, hey, you're gonna be setting up big shots, you're gonna sit down on big shots, you know, that's just how you fight. Somebody can make the most of that and bait that. You got to be careful, Jaron. Like, you have to be very careful when you fight in these types of fights, because truthfully, you don't want to be caught in a firefight against a Bud Crawford. You don't want to get caught in a firefight against a Virgil Ortiz, or, you know what I mean? You don't want to get caught in that type of firefight. At the end of the day, that's just not ideal for you and your future. He got hit with some shots from Karen that honestly, they did throw his balance off. They did buckle him a little bit. You know what I mean? They did make him lose balance. I can't say that he was ever hurt, but Karen was smart. Every time Jaron switched southpaw, Karen was just jabbing to his liver, throwing straight shots to that liver side, peppering shots up top, and then he would come around with a hook to that liver side. You know what I mean? And he was picking and choosing when he was going to sit in that pocket and work. He did lose a point, and he did get knocked down, because Jaron is still Jaron. You know, he's still Jaron, bro. He's still nice. It's just the fact that this guy was able to do hella good work and exploit his weaknesses. And to be honest, I think now people, they are over the shock value of the fact that Jaron does have crazy power and he can catch you pulling out, because the level of commitment he puts on his shots. They're figuring out, hey, this guy has to sit down to throw anything of consequence. And if I move at the right spots, if I get to the right angles in the right spots, or you know, get inside, and if I work that body a little bit and get him tired, because, you know, Jaron, he was looking as tired as I've ever seen him. Hey, maybe I can have some success. So they're talking about Virgil Ortiz versus Jaron. I've seen, you know, Bud, he gave him a little bit of game in his tweet after the fight. Ryan said that he would knock him out. You know how Ryan is, bro. Just a clown. But here's what I will say. Ryan, he can throw on the move. He can throw that crazy left hook on the move. The only question is if a PED less left hook is going to have the same amount of stopping power, because Jaron does have a beard. And if you throw your left hook and he eats it and brings a 2 or a 3 piece, there's no saying you gonna get up, because we've seen that Ryan is flimsy when it comes to the punches that he can take. You know what I mean? In a tank fight, he definitely did not take power well. So shit, even Luke Campbell gave him the most that he, gave him a lot to handle. So, he's definitely cannot take power very well for him to be saying all that. But I think if he goes to 154 and fights someone like Madrimov, that's gonna be some nasty work. I'm not gonna lie. That's gonna be some super nasty work, because Madrimov is pretty much an enhanced. I mean, look, he's Russian. He has the Soviet style. He moves, he turns angles, but the difference is the power. Like if Jaron goes to 154, like he said he wanted to, and say they match him up against Madrimov, but he doesn't have a belt anymore. But if they just match him up against Madrimov, right? Because that's a good common opponent. That's a good victory if you want to make a Bud fight happen, because Bud is kind of low. He's kind of like, I'm off it. You know what I mean? If you beat Madrimov up, or if you fight Madrimov and his style is overwhelming for you, because yeah, you can move, but you can't really throw on the move the way you would like to with some conviction. You know what I mean? Like that's his biggest weakness, and everyone's exploiting it. Not to mention, in the southpaw stance, he doesn't block anything on that left side.
He has found his groove with his right hand.
So you got two major gaps in your game, and I hope that he does elevate, make adjustments. Some people are saying that he should get a new trainer. I don't know about that, because I think Bozy Ennis has done a hell of a job training him. And now they can go back and they know how good they need to be. But this year has been the year of the upsets / bad performances, man. I'll say that for sure. You know what I mean? You had Raymond Ford fought tonight, and I think a lot of the young guys who are trying to transition into power punchers, their biggest thing, literally their biggest issue, is setting up them shots, setting up shots that are going to sleep somebody. Like they have to sit down to get the type of power they think they need to like stop somebody or to get respect, but they don't know how to torque their hips to get those shots off on the move. Like if you got somebody who's a moving target, who's shifty, it's hard for them to get that power off. It's hard for them to, you know what I mean? They'll just try to trap their movement with the punches and throw them to where you think they're gonna be and just sit down on the shot. But what happens if you got a guy who can swim through the ocean without getting wet, or who could run through the rain without getting wet? Because that was really what Karen was on. Like he looked excellent out there. I can't even lie. Even though he didn't get the win, he did exactly what he was supposed to do for boxing, and that would show Jaron, hey, this is how good you need to be. You got to practice punching on the move. You can't always sit down for power. You need to work on, because usually when Jaron's on the move, he just kind of touches, zooms up, sits down, lets his shots go. You know what I mean? So because that's the case, he has to go back to the drawing board, watch the hell out of that fight. They need to go ahead and come up with a new concept for his offense and how to get his offense off, and new defensive concepts to work into his style and his rhythm as well. Other than just, covering up, like you're going to have to be able to set and settle some of these movers down with great time body work, great punch placement, the same way that Bud was able to shut down all the Eastern European fighters he ever fought. You know what I mean? The same way Devin was able to shut Loma down, because even though Loma did turn up late, Devin was able to keep him in check with that jab and with that footwork. You know what I mean? Bud was able to keep Madrimov in check with that jab and that footwork. So that's the key, you know what I mean? And Jaron, great footwork and everything like that. It's just he just needs to come back and lock in on some new defensive concepts. That's all I'll say. Virgil Ortiz versus him looks good. Hopefully it doesn't turn into a buzzsaw fest. We'll see, because you know Virgil's a buzzsaw. And as far as Jaron and Bud, he's not ready. You know what I mean? As far as and then with the Keyshawn fight from last night, Keyshawn, he showed that, you know, he's an elite fighter. He had a hell of a performance against the guy, but the guy came in so overweight, when he got touched to the body, he couldn't take it. You know what I mean? And you know, Keyshawn is so much faster, still strong, still a puncher. But I think that that fight showed he was ready for Tank Davis? No, because truth be told, this guy is no Tank Davis. He telegraphed like everything he threw out there last night. That's why that counter was there. He was able to react to the telegraphing so well that it was pretty much free. The counters just, you know, they came straight to him. Abdullah Mason, he had a hell of a fight. He came in, he rushed his work. He got caught clean by a guy that looked dangerous just by his, you can tell by the bald shag that he had, the reverse fade. Because dude had the reverse fade, bro. Niggas that just rock the reverse fade willingly, like if he's willingly rocking the reverse fade, that's a different type of nigga, bro. I can't even lie. But you got Abdullah Mason. He loves to try to uppercut people when they come in head over their knee. But what he didn't account for is the fact that, hey, while I'm throwing this uppercut, here comes this left hook from that same side. Because I'm bringing, you know what I mean? And he was holding the phone, but when you throw uppercuts and you twist your body like that and you get hit, you don't have your body behind you to support you if you get caught with a shot. If you look at Shakur and Bud, when people come at them and they got a uppercut or throw a punch to counter that movement, if he throws that uppercut, he's not twisting his body, neither one. You know what I mean? He's keeping his body, he's keeping his posture. That's the first thing. That's what Bud and Shakur both do. That's what Abdullah Mason needs to adopt into his game. 2, he has to start throwing that counter. It has to be a straight punch. You can't throw it as an uppercut, because if you throw it as an uppercut, you're gonna end up with that left hook vulnerability over your right hand. I mean, it just is what it is. He got caught with it multiple times. The uppercut was the punch to the throat. Don't get it wrong. But it's the fact that he was turning over, he was turning his whole chin to the sky, even though he's holding his phone. He's not braced for any type of real impact. What a hell of a fight weekend. I hope everybody had fun watching these fights like I did. They were all very interesting matchups. The whole weekend was just jam-packed full of good fights, and great action and some upsetting performances, to say the least. With that being said, I'll catch you on the next video, man. I'm gone.